Did you know Benjamin Franklin liked cougars? If not, you're going to learn today. A younger friend sent Ben Frank a letter telling him about his sexual urges. Ben sent him a letter back intending to give the young man advice. It reads, June 25th, 1745. My dear friend, I know of no medicine. I think I should not communicate it to you. Marriage is the proper remedy. It is the most natural state of man, and therefore the state in which you are most likely to find solid happiness. Your reasons against entering into it at present appear to me not well founded. The circumstantial advantages you have in view by postponing it are not only uncertain, but they are small in comparison with that of the thing itself, being married and settled. It is the man and woman united that make the complete human being. Separate, she wants his force of body and strength of reason, he her softness, sensibility, and acute discernment. Together they are more likely to succeed in the world. A single man has not nearly the value he would have in that state of union. He is an incomplete animal. He resembles the odd half of a pair of scissors. If you get a prudent, healthy wife, your industry in your profession, with her good economy, will be a fortune sufficient. But if you will not take this counsel, and persist in thinking a commerce with the sex inevitable, then I repeat my former advice, that in all your amours you should prefer old women to young ones. You call this a paradox, and demand my reasons. They are these. 1. Because as they have more knowledge of the world and their minds are better stored with observations, their conversation is more improving and more lastly agreeable. 2. Because when women cease to be handsome, they study to be good. To maintain their influence over men, they supply the diminution of beauty by an augmentation of utility. They learn to do 1,000 services small and great, and are the most tender and useful of all friends when you are sick. Thus they continue amiable, and hence there is hardly such a thing to be found as an old woman who is not a good woman. 3. Because there is no hazard of children, which irregularly produced may be attended with much inconvenience. 4. Because through more experience they are more prudent and discreet in conducting an intrigue, to prevent suspicion. The commerce with them is therefore safer with regard to your reputation. And with regard to theirs, if the affair should happen to be known, considerate people might be rather inclined to excuse an old woman who would kindly take care of a young man, form his manners by her good counsels, and prevent his ruining his health and fortune among mercenary prostitutes. 5. Because in every animal that walks upright, the deficiency of the fluids that fill the muscles appears first in the highest part. The face grows lank and wrinkled, then the neck, then the breast and arms, the lower parts continuing to the last as plump as ever, so that covering all above with a basket, and regarding only what is below the girdle, it is impossible of two women to know an old from a young one. As in the dark, all cats are gray. As in the dark, all cats are gray. The pleasure of corporal enjoyment with an old woman is at least equal, and frequently superior, every knack being by practice capable of improvement. 6. Because the sin is less. The debauching a virgin may be her ruin, and make her for life unhappy. 7. Because the compunction is less. The having made a young girl miserable may give you frequent bitter reflections, none of which can attend the making an old woman happy. 8th and lastly, they are so grateful. Thus much for my paradox, but still I advise you to marry directly, being sincerely your affectionate friend. Okay, so number 1, basically, I guess he's saying they're more fun to talk to, they're smarter than younger girls. I mean, do you want a worldly, interesting, beautiful MILF, or a boring, slutty college girl? I think the choice is very clear. Number 2, basically, he says when they get a little older, they don't look very, they don't look as youthful as they once were. They have to gain skills. They have to be good at things. And MILFs are good at things. They can work with their hands. They know how to build stuff. They can build houses. They know how to fix cars. They know how to light a fire in the wilderness. If you're lost with a MILF in the wilderness, they can keep you warm, not only by their love and their body heat, but they can make a fire and keep animals away. And it keeps you warm. And third is, pretty self-explanatory. They can't have children if they're old enough. They're dried up, going through menopause, and that can be annoying if you don't want that. Number four, I don't really understand. It seems like, if your reputation is in jeopardy for some reason, I don't know if maybe your girl is just being a real bitch and everyone hates her. Maybe they're more inclined to forgive an older woman that's actually, a good woman. She's just kind of being a bitch right now over a younger woman who is just shitty. I don't know. But he does say that an older woman will help a man keep his health in line. He does say that an older woman will keep a man away from whores, from prostitutes, from sex workers, OnlyFans girls, and prevent him from getting diseases. And that's really cool. And number 5, he's basically saying, a pussy's a pussy. No matter how old it is, the top half might be haggard, titties looking like Walmart bags full of sand. But below the belt, ain't much change going on. I kind of disagree, but I know where he's going. I know what he's saying. He says, as in the dark, all cats are gray. I respect that hard. I understand. A roast beef sandwich, not a bad lunch. Number 6, he says, the sin is less. If you fuck up a virgin girl, you fuck up her life, you basically, I don't know, you cheat on her or you're mean to her and she's, all fucked up for the rest of her life. That's shitty, sinful. But I guess if you fuck up an older woman's life, it's not that bad. They're already old. They're going to die in 40 years. Whatever. Number 7, it's kind of the same as number 6, I guess. But he does say it's, making a young girl miserable does not compare, better. But he does say making an old woman happy is more good than making a young girl miserable is bad. At least that's how I interpret it. And the 8th one, he says they're grateful. Yes, they are grateful. They might not have had ding dong in a while. They're older, they may be widowed, they may be divorced, and you're giving them a very nice time, and they are so appreciative of that. Ben was right about that. He was right about pretty much everything in this letter. I think this is actually good advice. This was from just a little under 300 years ago, and it still rings true today. And what can I say? Ben Franklin was a G. Thanks for watching another one of my videos. Remember that MILFs are superior. They can take care of you. They can build houses. They can start fires. And they're just all around cool ass women. As always, I love MILFs.